The day after I buried my wife, my son tried to sell our family home. Yeah, read that again. I'm Henry Walker, 68 years old. For 35 years, this house was my late wife, Laura's pride and joy. To my son, Jason, it was just a good asset in a hot market. What he realized was that Laura had quietly spent decades setting up a plan, a trap so sharp it would turn his greed into a $35 million life lesson. The funeral and the first red flag Laura passed on April 10th, 2023. Cancer. 3 brutal years of chemo, hospital rooms, and late-night prayers. I was there every step of the way. Jason. Maybe twice a month. Crazy work schedule, as he called it. At her funeral on April 17th, Laura had planned every detail. The hymns, the flowers, even the quote on the program. And Jason. He kept glancing at his Apple Watch. Dad, let's wrap this up. People have places to be. That should have been my first warning. The day we got home from the burial, I could still smell Laura's perfume in the hallway. Before I could even sit down, Jason said, Dad, we should probably talk about what you're going to do with the house. My wife wasn't even cold in the ground. It's just a house, Dad. Our home is a 1988 colonial, 1,900 square feet. Laura redesigned every inch herself. She spent $30,000 redoing the kitchen just because she wanted Christmas dinners to feel like a movie. She spent weeks hunting for hand-carved railings because she said, I want people to feel hugged walking up these stairs. Jason never understood. Dad, it's just wood and drywall. You're almost 70. You don't need all this space. I tried to explain. Your mother drew these rooms by hand. Every color, every detail she planned it. He sighed like I was the stubborn one. You're stuck in the past. Mom would want you to be practical. Would she? Because I remember her words in the hospital. Henry, if I go first, Jason's gonna see this house as a payday, not a memory. Don't let him steamroll you. Turns out, she knew our son better than I did. From suggestions to pressure by Summer, Jason's concern turned into a sales pitch. Dad, the market's hot. The house is worth at least $600,000. You could move into a nice condo and still have a cushion. He had Zillow tabs, spreadsheets, even a list of agents. You'd have less to clean, and it'd be more manageable for you. I asked. More manageable for who, Jason? He didn't answer. By fall, he started pushing harder. Look, assisted living's expensive. Selling now could be the difference between okay care and great care. That wording, the difference, said it all. He wasn't thinking about my future. He was thinking about his. It was like he saw me as a project to manage, not his father. Laura's hidden plan one night. Fed up, I went into Laura's old craft room. Every shelf labeled, every tool lined up. Her kind of order. In the bottom drawer of her desk, I found a leather folder. Inside, blueprints, design notes, cost breakdowns, everything about this house. And at the back, her handwriting. This house is my masterpiece. Every room is our story. If Jason can't see that, he doesn't deserve to inherit it. Below that, a business card, Daniel Cruz, estate planning attorney. And in her handwriting again, Henry, if I'm gone and Jason starts pushing about the house, call Daniel. Don't let guilt make your decisions. Trust the plan. My wife had cooked up a plan, and she never told me. The lawyer and the bombshell. When I called Daniel, he said, Mr. Walker, I've been expecting your call. Your wife warned me this might happen. I met him a week later. Downtown office, polished marble floors, quiet hum of money. He opened a file labeled Walker Family Trust. "Your wife set this up in 2019, he said. "You're the trustee and primary beneficiary. Everything, your home, savings, investment sits in this trust." I blinked. "Investments? We barely scraped by." He slid a sheet across the desk. At the bottom was a number that made me go cold. $35,184,000. "That can't be right," I said. He smiled gently. "Laura inherited her father's company in the 90s. He sold it quietly and reinvested everything. She's been growing that money ever since." Suddenly, every mystery made sense. Why she never panicked over bills, why college was paid in full, why renovations never drained our account. Then Daniel handed me a tablet. "She left you a video." Laura appeared on screen, her hair short from chemo, but her eyes still fierce. "Hayes, if you're watching this, it means Jason's already talking about selling the house. Don't stop him right away. Let him show you who he is. Then, this CG." She paused, then added, "If he disrespects what we built, he doesn't inherit a cent." I sat there in silence. Daniel asked, "What do you want to do?" "I want to let him dig his own hole." Doniel smiled. "Your wife said you'd say that." The trap Jason thought I'd given in. He found a realtor named Karen, hired a photographer, even staged showings from upstairs. I heard him telling buyers, "Yeah, Mom had nice taste, but it's dated now. We'll knock out some walls, go modern, dated." He called my wife's heart and soul dated. He even wanted to move her reading chair and her grandmother's cabinet into storage. "Makes the house look old," he said. "No, son. It made the house feel alive. When the offers came in, Jason was thrilled. Cash off is $650, 30-day close." I smiled. "If you think it's the right move, go ahead." He had no idea he was walking straight into Laura's trap. The closing table showdown. The closing was set for March 10th, almost a year after Laura died. Jason showed up in a suit, bottle of champagne in hand. "Dad, by lunch you'll have $650,000 in the bank," he said. "Found a retirement place with golf and restaurants. You'll love it." "I don't play golf, Jason." "You will," he laughed. At the title office, everyone was ready. The buyers, the agent, the papers. They even brought renovation sketches showing my house got it. When the pen slid across to me, I put it down. "Before I sign," I said, "I need my attorney." Jason frowned. "Dad, what attorney?" 15 minutes later, Daniel Cruz walked in. Calm, collected. "Good morning. I'm counsel for the Walker Family Trust." Jason's face drained of color. "What trust?" Daniel opened the file. "The trust your mother created in 2019. Your father is the sole trustee. Current value, $35 million. The room went dead silent. "Your mother made your inheritance conditional," Daniel continued. "She wanted to see how you treated your father and her memory after she passed." Then he listed everything. Jason rushing the funeral, bullying me to sell, calling Laura's designs outdated. Finally, he looked at the buyers. "This sale is void. Jason has no legal authority to sell trust property." The buyers stormed out. The realtor nearly melted into the carpet. When the room cleared, Jason sat there pale as paper. "Dad, I was just trying to help." "No," I said. "You were trying to control me." Daniel closed his briefcase. "Your mother left you one last test, Jason, and you just failed it." The fallout. By the end of the week, the ripple hit. The buyers demanded reimbursement. Jason's car got repossessed. He'd been living like a millionaire in waiting. His ex-wife filed for overdue child support, and the small-town rumor mill. Oh, it had a field day. Jason tried to sell his dead mom's house and got slammed by a trust. Word spread fast. Then one night, my granddaughter Maddie called, 16 years old and sharp as a blade. "Grandpa," Dad says, "Grandma left millions and you're keeping it from him." "Is that true?" I told her the truth. "Your grandmother left money." "Yes, but she also left rules." He ignored them. Maddie was quiet, then said, "That sounds exactly like Grandma." That weekend, she came over. We walked through every room as I told her the stories behind them, the kitchen facing the garden, the reading nook, catching the afternoon sun, the wallpaper Laura changed 3 times until it felt right. Maddie smiled. "Grandma could have been an architect. Dad never told me she did all this." "He never asked," I said. The change a few days later. Jason called. His voice was different. "Dad," Maddie told me about the house, about Mom's plans. "I never knew." "You never wanted to," I said. He hesitated. "Can I come by?" "Not to talk about money. I just want to see the house like she saw it." When he came, he didn't walk in like the boss. He walked in like a guest. In the kitchen, he stared out the window. "She angled this so she could see the bird feeder, didn't she?" "She did," I said. He looked around the reading nook. Maddie said Mom sat here every afternoon. I thought it was just an old bench. "It's not old," I said. "It's loved." He nodded slowly. Then, sitting in Laura's chair, he asked, "Dad, what do I have to do to fix this?" "Not for the money. For Mom." I told him the truth. "Your mom left you some homework video messages, lessons, instructions, but none of it matters if you're chasing a payout. You have to prove you can respect people as wishes, even when they're not here to clap for you." He swallowed hard. "I'll pay the buyers back. I'll apologize to the agents. I'll make it right." That's when, for the first time, I believed him. 6 months later, it's been 6 months since that day, Jason sold his fancy stuff, paid back the buyers, worked double shifts. He even reimbursed the realtor for her lost commission. Daniel eventually gave him Laura's video message, each one about value, patience, and love over money. Jason said he cried through all of them. The trust remains locked, but Laura's lesson finally got through. Not everything has a price. Some things you honor, even when there's no check attached. Now, Jason visits every Sunday. No spreadsheets, no deals, just stories. We talk about Laura, her laugh, her stubbornness, her warmth, and little by little, I think my son finally understands. Laura didn't leave him money. She left him wisdom. 6 months had passed since Jason finally woke up. He'd stopped chasing money and started chasing meaning. Every Sunday, he came over for dinner. No spreadsheets, no Sally's talk, no guilt trips. Just peace. For the first time in a long time, our home felt like home again. But I've learned something about life. Peace never lasts long enough to get comfortable, especially when money's involved. The envelope one late afternoon, I found an envelope slipped under my front door. No return address, just my name written in the same cursive Laura used. My heart skipped. For a second, I thought it was a joke. Inside, a single note. "Henry, if you're reading this, someone's looking for the money. Protect Maddie." That handwriting wasn't Laura's. It was close enough to make my stomach twist. I called Daniel right away. "Someone left a note." I said, "Don't panic," he told me. These things happen when people get wind of large trusts. But the weird thing, no one should have known. The trust wasn't public, and Daniel swore only we and the bank had access. So either someone had guessed, or someone inside had talked. The knock on the door 2 days later, around dusk, a woman showed up. Lachi 30s, confident, expensive-looking coat. She introduced herself as Rebecca Price, an estate analyst. Mr. Walker, I represent a party who believes they may have a claim to your wife's assets. A claim. I almost laughed. My wife's assets aren't up for debate, I said. You'd be surprised what's still up for debate, she replied, handing me a folder. Inside were old photos of Laura younger, smiling with a man I didn't recognize. Who is this? I asked. Rebecca looked me straight in the eye. His name is Richard Callahan. He claims he and your wife co-founded the original business before she sold it. He wants a share. I froze. Laura had mentioned a business partner once. Someone her father had brought in years ago. But she'd said he left the company decades ago, right before the sale. Daniel confirmed it later that evening. It's real, Henry. The guy's alive and claiming ownership, but his documents look new. Too new. Someone was trying to fake their way into my wife's legacy, Maddie's discovery. Meanwhile, Maddie had been spending more time at the house, sketching, organizing Laura's journals, turning her grandmother's old notes into digital files. One evening she came running into the living room, laptop in hand. Grandpa, you need to see this. She'd found a scanned letter in one of Laura's design folders, dated 2002. It was addressed to a law firm, warning about a man named R.C. trying to steal company shares. Archie, the bottom Laura had written in bold, if he ever resurfaces, the trust must protect the family first. Maddie looked up at me. R.C. Richard Callahan. Smart kid. She was connecting the dots faster than I could. I sent the letter to Daniel, who confirmed it. That document alone was enough to shut down any fake claim. But he also found something else in the trust's backup files. Something Laura had locked behind a separate password. The second trust Daniel called me in. Henry, you'd better sit down, he said. He showed me a second document labeled Maddie Fund Restricted. It was another account, smaller, but still massive. Around $3.5 million. Laura had created it secretly, separate from the main trust. And in the notes, she'd written, this fund activates when Jason redeems himself. If he learns what truly matters, this becomes Maddie's seed to build her own legacy. Daniel looked at me. You realize what this means, right? Your wife built a backup plan for your granddaughter. I smiled. Of course she did. That's Laura. The offer when Rebecca came back, this time with her client's lawyer, I was ready. She sat across from me, confident as ever. Mr. Walker, we just want to reach an understanding. If you can share a portion of the proceeds, we can avoid litigation. I pushed a folder across the table. Inside, Laura's original letter, legal seals, and digital time. You should have done your homework before coming after my wife's name. Rebecca's face went pale. Where did you get this? Same place Laura got her wisdom. She planned ahead. She stood up, gathered her things, and walked out without another word. Jason's moment later that night. I told Jason everything. For the first time, he didn't get angry. He didn't talk about money. He just sat there quietly. Mom thought of everything, didn't she? She always did, I said. He paused. I want Maddie to handle that fund one day. I don't want her growing up chasing money like I did. That was the moment I knew the lesson had finally landed. Legacy, not wealth months passed, and things finally settled again. Jason started volunteering with a local housing group, helping families manage mortgages instead of selling their homes. Maddie began studying architecture, saying she wanted to finish Grandma's story. Every time I walk through that house now, I can still hear Laura's voice. Not angry, not scolding, just calm. I told you, Henry, love outlives everything. She was right. Her plan didn't just protect the money, it protected the people. If you watched this far, drop a comment below. Would you have forgiven Jason or kept the trust locked forever? And remember, money fades, legacy doesn't. Hit like, subscribe, and share this story with someone who believes in quiet revenge and louder redemption.